Hey guys, so welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is the vlog for day 22. So we have just about a week left of this core challenge. So how are you guys doing? Leave me a comment below. Let me know how you're finding the workouts and whether you've managed to stay with me for the last 22 days. Anyway, because I'm launching my classes on a platform, on a new platform called Classify, and it is happening in just under a week on Monday, March 29th. I thought I would talk to you guys about my journey in calisthenics. So for those of you who are not familiar with the word calisthenics, the reality is it's just a very fancy word for body weight training. So it's the kind of training you do without equipment. And a lot of people associate it with either very high reps and sets of things like pull-ups and push-ups, or something a little bit more gymnastic-y like street workout. But lots of different types of workouts actually could fall under calisthenics. You know, like yoga is a form of calisthenics, pole dancing is a form of calisthenics, you know, any of the kind of really simple home body weight workouts that you do fall under calisthenics. So it really is just body weight workouts. So in terms of body weight training, I would say that my journey probably started somewhere in 2010 when I was living in the Philippines. And I had just moved there in 2009. Moved there in 2010. I wasn't working and I was looking for things to do because I was doing the housewife thing, and you know, staying at home gets really boring. So I found this dance school that had pole dancing, and pole dancing was always something that I wanted to do. And one of the teachers is actually this famous Filipino actress, Shara Soto. She was absolutely lovely. And, you know, I formed a really nice group of friends in the Philippines, and pole dancing was my life while I was there. What I really liked about it was that there were so many movements and sort of tricks and skills and stuff like that that were very, very strength-based. So it wasn't just about, you know, mobility and flexibility, but there was also a lot of strength work involved. And so that was when I first started. So I remember my first class. So at this point, obviously I've been, you know, weight training for about almost 10 years at this point. And anyway, I went in for a pole dancing class, and we had to do this like move. It was like a warm up, right? Where you hold the pole on one side like this, kind of tucked in your arm, and you're just gonna pull yourself up. And I found that quite hard. I didn't feel like I could hold myself up very high, and I couldn't do it for that many reps. And I thought that I was not that strong, but you know, it was really fun. So I kept coming back and just getting stronger and stronger. So I really enjoyed pole dancing in the Philippines because I was never into the whole sexy dancing thing of pole dancing, right? I really enjoyed the strength aspects to it. And one of the teachers who did the choreography class, his name was Johnny, and he was amazing. He's still, I still follow him on social media. He is absolutely incredible, but a lot of his choreography was very strong. You know, it's very strong. It was, you know, when he performed, even though it was pole, it was very strong. It was very masculine, and you know, very sexy in a different, you know, not kind of strip club, you know, grinding your hips kind of way, right? So his choreography was incredible in that sense. And you know, I guess like Philippines being a slightly more conservative society, we were not doing all the, you know, like booty popping, you know, I don't know, grinding on the floor kind of movements, right? But so when I moved to London, first thing I did was I found a pole school, right? And I went, and anyway, it was quite traumatic for me. It was my first week in London, and you know, there were all these issues with the tube and whatnot. I was late for the class, but anyway, when I got there, I was a little bit disappointed because the style was so different. You know, there were levels, and the teacher was very serious, and you know, she comes from a ballet background, and it just wasn't fun. But then I found a gym in London, right? That, you know, it was a proper gym, but it had pole dancing classes, so that was perfect because I was still doing all my strength training and stuff, my weight training, and it was just nice to have all those things in one space. And those classes were really fun, but again, it always ended up in this whole like, all right, everybody freestyle, and then everyone's like doing this sexy dance thing on the pole, and I was just like, I don't know, it's just not my thing, right? But this gym also offered a class called Bartenders. So Bartenders is a calisthenics class, and the name Bartenders comes from the guys in New York who basically came up with their sort of brand and concept of calisthenics training, right? Reps and sets and all that. Anyway, so it was offered, and it was being taught by Arlie Corbin, bar coach, who I still train with right now when I have time. So I was training, you know, throughout this pandemic with him. I have not been able to attend as many of his classes, but you know, he's still amazing. Still train with him. Anyway, so he was teaching these classes, and I was just amazed, you know, when I discovered like Bartenders and learned about what calisthenics was. It was kind of like, you know, it was like all the strength aspects of pole dancing, but without the sexy dancing, without the dancing. But there were still lots of skills you could learn. You could learn to muscle up. You could learn to do front levers, back levers, all this other stuff, right? So I really got involved with it, and that is really, you know, that was in the beginning of 2012. So end of 2011, beginning of 2012, where I started my proper calisthenics journey. So I think the misconception when it comes to calisthenics and you know, when people see someone like myself, is they think, oh, it's really easy for you because you are only 4'8" and you weigh like nothing, you know, so all these pull-ups are easy. And, you know, they're always like, oh, but I'm a bigger, taller person, you know, like I have to pull more weight, right? But, you know, your body weight is your body weight, right? And so it's basically like someone who is double my size saying, oh, it's harder for me to walk because I have to carry more weight. You know, it makes no sense. You manage that's your weight. You know what I mean? You walk around at that weight, and, you know, it's your body weight. So anyway, so my point is, you know, everyone just sees me kind of like where I was like a year after I had started Bartenders, right? But I was that person as well who was doing press-ups on the knees. I started doing press-ups on the knees. I was doing pull-ups on a band, and also, you know, like I remember, you know, in one of Arlie's Bartenders classes, and when he was getting us to do press-ups, and I actually couldn't do that. Like, I couldn't even do it on my knees, you know? So, yeah, I started just where a lot of people start, you know, but what it is I really loved this training, you know, and I really enjoyed the people who went to the class. I enjoyed the community, and so I kept coming, and I went from like doing one class a week to linking my membership and following Arlie everywhere, doing multiple classes a week, sometimes multiple classes a day. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. So it's just about consistency, you know, and there was a time in about, I would say 2008, maybe? No, wait, not 2008, 2016 to about 2019, where I did not do a lot of calisthenics because I was training in powerlifting and I was competing in powerlifting, right? And during those years, although I got stronger at my lifts, I actually started to struggle to do pull-ups again. So I went from, you know, being able to do at my best 26 pull-ups unbroken, and being, you know, I remember this one class of Arlie's. There were 5 rounds of different kinds of exercise, of which In each of the 5 rounds, there were 20 pull-ups to do, right? But your 20 pull-ups were were separated by, 4 other exercises. Anyway, I actually managed to do 5 rounds of 20 pull-ups unbroken, and that was like the strongest in calisthenics I had ever been. So when I started powerlifting, I was very strong in my upper body, and I could bench a lot more than, pound for pound, than a lot of girls. And then I competed, internationally in bench press championships. But, my pull-ups, I just couldn't do as many. I went to Arlie's class, I remember, and I was literally like, 3 reps of pull-ups was a struggle, right? So you can see it goes back and forth, right? But during this pandemic, obviously, we have got no weights to play with at home, other than, what everybody has, like little itty bitty kettlebells and dumbbells, right? So I went back to calisthenics, and now, I mean, I still can't get my 20 reps unbroken, and I still can't get my 26 reps unbroken, but, I am getting stronger than from where I was, during my powerlifting days. So, it goes back and forth and whatnot, but we just shouldn't be discouraged, and we just need to be consistent and stop worrying about how many reps we can do, or, whether we're getting better or stronger or whatever, because some days will be easier, some days will be harder, and you just need to keep doing it and find the enjoyment in it from the community that you're training with, you know what I mean? And that is the important thing, and that makes it consistent. And then, fast forward however many years down the line, you're gonna look in the mirror and you're gonna realize your body looks different, you're gonna realize you are stronger than you were before, and all these things come together. So I always say, whatever it is that your goal is, I know, when I was younger, my advice would have probably been different and been like, oh, you need to come up with a plan, But sometimes it's just about stop looking for the changes. Yeah, stop looking for the changes, because it's like watching a boiling pot of water. If you keep watching it, it feels like nothing ever changes. But if you go away for a while and do something else or whatever, distract yourself, you come back, all of a sudden the pot of water is boiling. And it feels like no time had passed, right? So it's just sort of my motto and how I look at, when you're trying to upskill in something, just find enjoyment, find the things that will bring you back to it, that are more sort of rewarding in a way, like the social interaction, the friends that you make, that kind of thing, and everything else will fall in place. So yeah. Anyway, so that's my calisthenics journey, guys. Yeah, that is it. So anyway, hope you enjoy today's core workout. Once this 30-day core challenge is over, I will be putting up more calisthenics workouts for all of you. So enjoy, people, and share with me. Let me know if you do calisthenics, if you're interested in more calisthenics workouts and all of that. So I'll see you on the next one.